Monica Hughes walked into the courthouse with a quiet determination, the kind of confidence that comes from knowing you're right and that sometimes you just have to let the world catch up with you. She had been here before many times actually, but today felt different. Today wasn't about just paying a fine or letting the system have its way. Today was about proving a point, about fairness, about respect, and about how people like her were so often overlooked, dismissed, and forgotten. As she made her way through the hallways of the courthouse, she couldn't help but think about the long line of people she had seen in waiting rooms over the years, people like her who had stood in the same spaces but never been given the same opportunities. She had heard stories, seen how some judges seemed to make decisions without listening, how some people of color had been treated differently simply because of the way they looked or the way they spoke. And she was tired of it, tired of the bias and the unspoken assumptions, tired of seeing others suffer because the system was rigged against them. She arrived at the courtroom and paused outside the door, taking a deep breath and walking in with her head held high. She wasn't afraid of what was coming, and she wasn't going to back down. Today, the judge was Samuel Gray, an older white man known for his stern demeanor and no-nonsense approach to the law. People said he ruled with an iron fist, that he didn't tolerate nonsense or excuses, and that anyone who entered his courtroom better be ready to follow his rules without question. Monica had heard all about him from others who had stood before him and been handed fines or penalties, despite having valid reasons for their actions. They had spoken about how cold he could be, how easily he dismissed their concerns, and today she was going to prove him wrong. The room fell silent as she took her seat in front of the judge. The other cases were being called one by one, but Monica wasn't like the others. She wasn't just another person waiting for her turn. She was here to show him that sometimes the law wasn't as simple as black and white, that sometimes people didn't deserve to be treated like numbers or cases on a docket. They deserved to be heard. They deserved fairness. When it was her turn, Judge Gray looked up at her with his usual steely gaze and motioned for her to present her case. She explained calmly that the ticket she had received was issued in error, that the parking sign she had been cited for was not clearly marked, that she had not seen the restriction because it was hidden behind a tree. He listened for a moment, and then, without even glancing at the evidence she had brought with her, he shook his head and said without hesitation, "You're wasting my time, Miss Hughes. You'll pay the fine, and that will be the end of it." Monica felt a rush of heat rise in her chest, but she kept her voice steady. This wasn't the moment to lose her cool. Instead, she simply nodded and thanked the judge before walking out of the room. The fine was handed to her with a cold formality, and she left the courthouse without saying a word to anyone. But inside, she was seething. She hadn't expected him to listen to her fully, but she had hoped for at least a little respect. After all, she wasn't just some woman who didn't know the law. She was someone who had studied it carefully and knew when the system was wrong. And today it was very wrong. As Monica walked out into the bright sunlight of the city street, she wasn't sure what her next move would be, but one thing was clear: this wasn't over, not by a long shot. Monica's footsteps were slow as she walked away from the courthouse, her mind racing with everything that had just happened. She had expected the fine, in a way, but she hadn't expected the complete dismissal from Judge Gray. The words lingered in her mind, "Wasting my time, Miss Hughes," and they gnawed at her, a subtle insult that cut deeper than any fine could. But there was something else there too, something that burned brighter than the frustration. Asterisk, asterisk, determination, asterisk, asterisk. She wasn't going to let this go. Not today. Not ever. Monica's phone buzzed in her pocket, pulling her from her thoughts. It was a text from asterisk, asterisk, Evelyn Carter, asterisk, asterisk, her former mentor and the one person she could always rely on for advice. Evelyn had been a lawyer for over 30 years, specializing in civil rights cases, but she had retired a few years ago. Monica had worked with her on a few cases in the past, learning not just about the law, but about the art of standing up when no one else would. Asterisk, asterisk, Evelyn, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, I heard what happened. You okay, asterisk? Monica smiled slightly as she typed a quick reply. Asterisk, asterisk, Monica, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, I'll be fine. Just a bit frustrated, asterisk. It wasn't the full truth, but it was close enough. She didn't want to tell Evelyn everything just yet. She didn't want to admit how deeply it hurt to be dismissed like that, especially when she knew she was right. Asterisk, asterisk, Evelyn, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, don't let them silence you. Call me when you're ready to talk. You know what to do, asterisk. Monica felt a flicker of warmth spread through her. Evelyn always knew exactly what to say. It was one of the many reasons she trusted her so much. But this time, Monica was already starting to think ahead. She had been calm in the courtroom, but something had shifted. She had seen the way the judge had looked at her with that air of superiority, like she was just another person who didn't know enough to challenge him. What he didn't know was that asterisk asterisk Monica knew the law asterisk asterisk. She had spent years quietly studying it, absorbing everything she could. Her parents had always encouraged her to learn the power of her voice and the way of knowledge. They had been activists, deeply involved in social justice movements, and had always emphasized the importance of knowing your rights. Monica had taken that lesson to heart. She wasn't a lawyer, but she had worked alongside lawyers, helping them prepare cases, doing research, and sometimes just listening to the stories people needed to tell. She had seen how the law worked, how it could be twisted, and how it could be bent to serve those in power. She had learned how to spot inconsistencies, flaws, and loopholes. And she had seen the way the system sometimes overlooked people like her, people who didn't fit the mold. The more she thought about it, the more the fire in her grew. This wasn't just about one traffic ticket. This was about the way the legal system treated people who weren't part of the so-called elite or privileged class. This was about proving to Judge Gray and to the system that asterisk asterisk they were wrong asterisk asterisk. She wasn't just some random woman who had come to contest a fine. She was someone who understood how the law was supposed to work. She wasn't going to let this injustice slide. That night, Monica sat at her desk in her small apartment, papers and law books scattered across the table. Her mind raced as she began to sketch out a plan. She knew what she had to do. It was time to asterisk asterisk take action asterisk asterisk. She would file a formal complaint against Judge Gray. But she wasn't going to just leave it at that. She would gather evidence, case law, precedents, anything she could use to show that Judge Gray's decision was wrong. Monica was going to make sure that her voice was heard, that the truth came out, and that people would know that just because she wasn't wearing a lawyer's robe didn't mean she didn't know how to fight. She knew this wouldn't be easy. But Monica was no stranger to hard work. Her parents had taught her the value of persistence, the importance of standing your ground even when the odds were against you. And right now, she was prepared to stand her ground. The fight had just begun. Monica sat in the quiet of her apartment, the hum of the city outside fading into the background as she focused on her mission. Her desk was cluttered with open legal books, notebooks full of handwritten notes, and a laptop displaying case law databases. The more she dug, the more she realized how much she already knew. It wasn't about just citing the law. It was about understanding how to use it, how to weave it into a narrative that no one could ignore. She wasn't just going to file a complaint. No, this was bigger. She was going to show asterisk asterisk Judge Samuel Gray asterisk asterisk that his assumptions, his dismissive attitude, and his authority were built on a shaky foundation. She had seen it before, how some judges operated with a certain sense of superiority, dismissing cases before even hearing them because of who the person in front of them was. She wasn't going to let herself be part of that narrative anymore. The first step was simple. Asterisk asterisk, the complaint asterisk asterisk. Monica carefully typed out her official grievance against Judge Gray, outlining his behavior during the previous hearing. She described how he had cut her off without listening, how he had dismissed her evidence, and how he had brushed her aside like her words didn't matter. But she didn't just stop there. Monica knew this would need more than just words of frustration. She needed to make a legal case for why the judge's actions were inappropriate and violated the basic principles of fairness and due process. She added specific details, citing asterisk asterisk courtroom procedures asterisk asterisk and asterisk asterisk precedents asterisk asterisk, where judges were required to give full consideration to the evidence presented, regardless of the defendant's background or appearance. Monica was meticulous. She referenced cases where judges had been reprimanded for similar behavior. She wasn't just going to argue that she had been wronged. She was going to prove that Judge Gray's behavior was a part of a larger issue that needed to be addressed. But she knew that just filing the complaint wouldn't be enough. Monica needed to be heard. She needed to get her side of the story out there, loud and clear. So after sending off the complaint, she sat back and thought about her next move. That's when the phone buzzed again. This time, it was Lena Rivers the young court reporter who had taken an interest in Monica's case. Lena had been following the courthouse proceedings closely, and her article about Monica's complaint was about to drop. Lena got the go-ahead on the piece. It's going live an hour. Ready to take the next step, Monica smiled to herself. Lena had always been a game changer. The two of them had met once or twice at local community events, and after Lena had written a short article about civil rights issues, Monica had sensed a spark in her, a passion for justice that mirrored her own. When Lena had reached out to her about writing a feature on her story, Monica knew this was her chance to get some real attention. Monica I'm ready. Let's make sure the world knows exactly what happened. Lena's article hit the digital news outlets like wildfire. It wasn't just about the traffic fine. It was about how the justice system often overlooked the voices of people like Monica, people who weren't seen as important enough to be listened to. The article framed Monica not just as a victim of a small mistake, but as someone challenging a system that often disregarded people of color, someone determined to take her knowledge of the law and make her voice heard. The next morning, Monica woke up to an inbox flooded with messages. Some were from people she didn't know, other defendants who had been treated unfairly, civil rights activists who wanted to connect, and a few lawyers who offered to help her. There was even a message from a former colleague, David Moretti, who had worked as a paralegal at a local law firm. He had always respected Monica's sharp mind and suggested they team up to build a legal strategy. But amidst the messages, there was one that stood out. Judge Gray, himself. It wasn't a personal message, but the subject line read, request for a meeting. Monica couldn't help but smile. She hadn't expected him to reach out so soon, but this felt like a crucial turning point. The judge wanted to meet with her. Did he finally understand that she wasn't just some random person trying to weasel out of the fine? Or was he trying to dismiss her again before she had a chance to make her move? Either way, Monica was ready, This was just the beginning. She wasn't going to back down now. She had made her move, and now it was his turn. Monica stared at the email for a moment longer than she should have, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. A meeting with Judge Gray, Was this a genuine attempt to address her complaint, or just a way to diffuse the situation before it gained any more momentum? She didn't trust him, not after the way he had dismissed her in court. But the idea of meeting him face to face, of forcing him to confront her in person, had a certain appeal. She didn't want to meet him to make nice. She didn't want to hear some half-hearted apology. No, she wanted him to understand that this wasn't just about one ticket. It was about the way people like her were treated every single day. It was about the quiet, systemic bias that so many judges like him refused to acknowledge. She clicked on the accept button and typed a simple response. Will be there. The next morning, Monica dressed carefully. She wasn't going in looking for a fight, but she wasn't going in unprepared either. She wore a crisp black blazer and a pair of dark pants, professional but understated. She wanted to be taken seriously, and she knew that appearances mattered. She had learned that from watching the way people in power responded to those they deemed respectable. It wasn't about playing their game. It was about making sure they understood she belonged in the same room, that she had the same rights, and that she had earned the right to be heard. The courthouse was quieter this morning, a hushed calm that filled the air as she walked through the halls. She didn't recognize many of the faces, but it didn't matter. All that mattered was the judge, and he was about to face her in a way he hadn't expected. When she entered his chambers, Judge Gray was seated at his desk, his usual stern expression softened, though there was still a sense of wariness in his eyes. He stood when she entered, as if out of habit, but he didn't offer his hand. Instead, he motioned for her to sit across from him. "Miss Hughes," he began, his voice level but not unkind. "I understand you filed a complaint, and I wanted to hear your concerns directly." Monica didn't waste time with pleasantries. She wasn't here to play nice. She was here to make sure that her voice was the one being heard. "I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me, Judge Gray," she said, her voice steady and calm. "But let's not pretend this is just about a traffic ticket. This is about a much larger issue, the way people are treated in your courtroom based on assumptions rather than facts." Judge Gray's eyes narrowed slightly, but he said nothing. Monica continued, leaning forward slightly, her tone firm but measured. "When I walked into that courtroom, I wasn't just another person trying to get out of a fine. I was a person who had studied the law, who knew that ticket was issued in error. Yet you dismissed me without even looking at the evidence. That's not justice. That's power. And that's not what this country is built on." The silence stretched between them, and for a moment, Monica wondered if he would interrupt, if he would try to shut her down as he had done in the courtroom. But he didn't. He just stared at her, as if waiting for her to finish. She didn't let the silence intimidate her. Instead, she pressed on, presenting the points from her complaint. The ways in which his behavior had violated the basic principles of fairness, the importance of impartiality in the courtroom, and the impact of his actions on people who didn't have the privilege of being listened to in the same way others were. She referenced case law, quoting passages that illustrated how judges were required to remain neutral and provide fair treatment to every individual in their courtrooms. Judge Gray listened, but his face remained unreadable. At one point, he raised an eyebrow when she cited a case he had ruled on several years ago, one where the judgment had been overturned due to similar biases. But he didn't respond, at least not yet. When Monica finished, she leaned back in her chair, letting the weight of her words settle in the room. She had laid it all out. There was no denying it now. This wasn't just about one ticket. This was about accountability. Judge Gray let out a long breath, then spoke, his voice softer than before. "I'll admit, Miss Hughes, I didn't expect this. You've certainly made your case. But I'm not the only one involved in this process, and I'm not the only one who has a role in ensuring fairness." Monica nodded, sensing that he was starting to acknowledge the truth. It wasn't a full admission, but it was a start. He had heard her, and maybe, just maybe, it was making him think. "I appreciate your time, Judge," Monica said, standing up and offering a polite nod. "I'll be following up with my formal request for review. I trust you'll consider everything I've said." As she left his chambers, Monica felt a sense of accomplishment. She wasn't sure what would happen next, but she had planted a seed. Whether Judge Gray would allow it to grow was up to him. But he would never forget her. And that, in itself, was a victory. Monica didn't expect an immediate change after her meeting with Judge Gray. She knew how these things worked. Power rarely shifted overnight, and even when people were confronted with truth, it didn't always mean they would act on it. But as she walked out of the courthouse, a quiet confidence filled her. For the first time, she had made someone like Judge Samuel Gray listen, and that felt like a small victory. Back at her apartment, she sat down with her laptop, glancing at the pile of legal books on her desk, and began reviewing the notes she had taken during her conversation with the judge. She had stuck to her arguments, remained composed, but there was still much to be done. Her formal complaint was already in the system, but she had no illusion that this would be the end of it. It would take time, possibly even months, for any formal investigation to take place. If she was going to keep the pressure on, she needed a new strategy. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from Lena Rivers the reporter who had written the viral article about her case. Lena the story is getting a lot of attention. People want to know more about you, Monica. Have you considered speaking at one of the local forums? There's a rally next week about racial justice and fair treatment in the courts. I think it could be a great opportunity for you to share your story and maybe get some more attention on what happened in your case. Asterisk. Monica read the message twice. It was tempting. She had always been more of a behind-the-scenes person, helping others, offering advice. But this moment was different. Asterisk, asterisk, Glenna was right, asterisk, asterisk. If she wanted to keep pushing for change, she needed to step out in front. She needed to speak for herself and for those who had never been able to stand up for their rights. After a few moments of contemplation, she replied, asterisk, asterisk, Monica, asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, I'm in. Let's make this count. Asterisk. The rally was organized by a local civil rights group, and it wasn't just about police brutality. It was about the broader issues of inequality in the justice system. The speakers included lawyers, activists, and community leaders, but Monica knew that her voice was just as necessary in that conversation. The day of the rally, Monica stood on the steps of a local government building, feeling a nervous buzz in her chest as people gathered in front of her. She wasn't a politician. She wasn't a professional public speaker, but she had something to say, and for the first time in a long while, she felt the weight of that responsibility. Lita was there, of course, and she stood off to the side, her camera ready. Monica caught her eye and smiled, a small but reassuring gesture. Then she stepped forward to the microphone. Good afternoon, she began, her voice steady, but the words came out with an urgency she hadn't expected. My name is Monica Hughes, and I'm here today to talk about a system that asterisk, asterisk, dismisses asterisk, asterisk people like me every single day. She took a breath, and as she spoke, her words became sharper, more deliberate. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not an expert on every law on the books. But I do know one thing. The law should be asterisk, asterisk, fair, asterisk, asterisk. It should treat people equally. And when a judge looks at someone like me and decides I'm not worth listening to, decides I don't deserve a fair hearing, that's not just a mistake. That's an asterisk, asterisk, failure, asterisk, asterisk of justice. Monica's voice grew louder as she continued, recounting the moment she had walked into Judge Gray's courtroom, confident and prepared, only to be dismissed without a fair hearing. She didn't pull any punches. She named the issue for what it was: bias, racial inequality, and the way the justice system often overlooked people who weren't seen as important. As she spoke, she could see the faces of the crowd, the nods of agreement, the murmurs of recognition. She knew these people, or people like them, had been ignored too. They understood exactly what she was talking about. Monica wasn't just telling her story. She was speaking for all the people who had been asterisk, asterisk, silenced asterisk, asterisk in courtrooms for years. When she finished, the crowd erupted into applause. It was a short speech, but it had been powerful, and Monica felt a surge of energy, a sense that she had connected with something much larger than her own frustration. It wasn't just about her anymore. It was about everyone who had ever been dismissed, overlooked, or unfairly treated. Afterwards, several people came up to Monica, thanking her for sharing her story. She met with other activists, lawyers, and local leaders who offered support and praised her courage. Asterisk, asterisk, Lena, asterisk, asterisk, standing nearby, snapped photos, but Monica didn't care about the spotlight. What mattered was that she had made a difference. Later that evening, as Monica sat at home, reflecting on the rally and everything that had happened that day, she realized something important. Asterisk, asterisk, the fight wasn't just about her anymore, asterisk, asterisk. She had become part of a bigger conversation, one that was happening across the country. And for the first time, Monica felt like she was truly doing what she had always wanted to do, fighting for justice. This was just the beginning. The system wasn't going to change overnight, but if people like her kept speaking up, maybe, just maybe, the change would come. The rally was a turning point for Monica. As the days passed, her life took on a new rhythm, one that was filled with a strange mixture of purpose and urgency. She had spoken at the rally, and the response had been overwhelming. But now that the spotlight was on her, she knew that she couldn't stop. If anything, this was only the beginning. Her inbox was flooded with messages, some from people she knew, others from complete strangers who had seen her speak or read about her story. A few lawyers had reached out offering their support. Some were interested in helping her challenge Judge Gray's behavior, while others simply wanted to connect, offering legal resources or guidance. But there were also messages from people who had been through similar experiences, people who had been wronged by the system and didn't know where to turn. Monica had always believed in the power of community, but now, more than ever, she understood that it wasn't just about one voice, it was about a collective push for justice. One afternoon, as she was sipping coffee and sifting through more emails, her phone buzzed. It was a message from David Moretti the paralegal who had offered to team up with her a few days ago. David have been looking over some of the case law you referenced. You're onto something here, Monica. This isn't just about an isolated incident. There's a pattern. Judges like Gray, people with power who don't have to answer to anyone. It's time someone held them accountable. Let's set up a meeting. Monica felt a surge of hope. David was sharp, and if he thought there was a real case here, then maybe, just maybe, they could do something bigger than just challenge Judge Gray They could shine a light on a systemic issue that so many had been too afraid to address. She quickly responded, Monica let's do it. When can we meet? Within the hour, they had set up a meeting for the following day. Monica wasn't entirely sure what David had in mind, but the idea of bringing a legal expert into the fold felt like the next logical step. She couldn't take down an entrenched judicial system alone, but with the right support, she could start to chip away at it. The next day, Monica met David at a small cafe near the courthouse. He was already sitting at a table, his laptop open, and several legal pads stacked beside him. As she sat down, he wasted no time getting to the heart of the matter. Monica, I think you're onto something, David said, his voice earnest. This isn't just about Judge Gray's behavior. It's about a larger problem with how judges handle cases involving marginalized groups. I've gone through the articles you mentioned, and there's a pattern. Judges dismissing complaints, treating people unfairly, and creating an environment where defendants are punished not based on the merits of their cases, but because of who they are. Monica nodded, a chill running through her as she listened to David articulate what she had suspected all along. There are precedents for cases like this, he continued. Judges can be held accountable, especially when their behavior violates ethical guidelines or undermines the rights of defendants. But it's going to take more than just a complaint. We're going to need evidence, testimony, and possibly even a formal investigation into his history of rulings. Monica leaned forward, her hands wrapped around her coffee cup. How do we get that kind of evidence? I have my complaint, but I need more to build a case. Something concrete. David smiled, his eyes sharp with focus. That's where we come in. We can file a formal judicial misconduct complaint with the state's judicial commission. But we'll also need testimonies from others who have faced similar treatment in his courtroom. And we can dig into his record, past cases, decisions that may show a pattern of bias. The more we have, the stronger the case. Monica took a deep breath, her mind spinning with the possibilities. This wasn't just about one wronged person anymore. This was about accountability at the highest levels. If they could prove that Judge Gray had engaged in misconduct, it wouldn't just be him they were exposing. It would be the cracks in the system that allowed this kind of bias to flourish unchecked. I'm in, she said, her voice firm. Let's gather the evidence and make this count. David nodded, looking down at his notes. We'll need to be strategic. I'll start by reaching out to some of my contacts in the legal community. We'll also need to get in touch with other people who've been wronged in Judge Gray's courtroom. People who might be willing to speak up, even anonymously. But we're going to need time. Monica felt a sense of urgency rising within her. Time was something they didn't have in abundance. The longer they waited, the harder it would be to make their case. She could feel the pressure mounting, but this wasn't just about her anymore. It was about creating real change. This was the opportunity she had been waiting for. "We'll make time," she said, determination in her voice. "I'm not stopping until we get justice, not just for me, but for everyone who's been overlooked." As they discussed next steps, Monica's resolve solidified. This wasn't just her fight anymore. It was their fight the fight for fairness, for equality, and for the kind of justice that wasn't swayed by the color of your skin or the way you spoke. She wasn't going to let up. Not now. Not ever. The days that followed were a blur of research, meetings, and late-night phone calls. Monica and David worked tirelessly, combing through Judge Gray's past rulings, gathering testimonies from people who had been in his courtroom, and building a case that they hoped would not only expose his biases, but force a reckoning within the judicial system. Each step forward felt like a victory, but each new obstacle reminded Monica that this was not going to be easy. They compiled a dossier of cases where Judge Gray had been accused of bias, focusing on the ones where racial disparities were most apparent. Monica and David also contacted lawyers and activists, asking if they could connect her with others who had faced unfair treatment in Judge Gray's courtroom. Slowly, they began to gather a list of names, some willing to testify, others not ready to put their own necks on the line. One evening, as Monica sat at her desk reviewing more documents, her phone buzzed. It was an email from Lena Rivers Lena I've got some new information for you. A source inside the courthouse says that Gray has been under scrutiny for a while. Apparently, the Judicial Commission has received several complaints about his behavior over the years, but nothing has ever gone public. You might want to look into that. It could be the break you need. Monica's heart raced as she read the message again. A source inside the courthouse. This could be the lead they've been waiting for. If Judge Gray had been under investigation before, it would prove that his behavior wasn't isolated, that there were patterns of misconduct. Monica quickly texted David. Monica check your email. We might have a major lead on Gray. This could be the breakthrough we need. David responded almost immediately. David on it. I'll look into it first thing tomorrow. We need to confirm this. The next day, they set up a meeting with Lena to discuss the information she had uncovered. Over coffee at a small cafe, Lena handed over a printed copy of an internal memo she had obtained through her source. It was dated several years ago and outlined complaints from several defendants who had appeared before Judge Gray. The complaints referenced instances of racial profiling, dismissals without proper consideration of evidence, and a pattern of condescending behavior towards black defendants. This could change everything, Lena said, her voice low as she slid the paper across the table. If the Judicial Commission has been receiving complaints for years and hasn't taken action, it means there's a much bigger issue here than just one bad judge. Monica scanned the memo, her heart pounding in her chest. The document was damning, showing that not only had Judge Gray been repeatedly accused of bias, but the commission had been aware of the accusations and failed to act This wasn't just a matter of one unjust case. It was a systemic problem. David was already making calls to verify the authenticity of the document, speaking to former clerks and legal assistants who might have been involved with those complaints. After what felt like hours, he returned with an important update. We've got confirmation. The Judicial Commission received these complaints, but it was buried. The complaints were dismissed as frivolous or unsubstantiated. That's a big problem, Monica. This shows that they knew and chose to ignore it. Monica felt a wave of emotion wash over her. Anger, relief, frustration, all of it mingled together. They had proof. They had the ammunition to expose Judge Gray and the system that had allowed him to operate unchecked for so long. We're not just going after Gray anymore, Monica said, her voice firm with conviction. "We're going after the system. This is bigger than him. If they've been covering up complaints for years, it means there are other judges out there doing the same thing." David nodded. "Exactly. But we have to be careful. If we go public with this, it could backfire. The Judicial Commission will try to sweep it under the rug if they can. We need to make sure we have all our ducks in a row before we go public." Monica didn't hesitate. "We have to act fast. If we wait too long, they'll bury this again, and nothing will change. We'll take it to the media. We'll get the public involved. This is about more than just one man. It's about the whole system." The plan was set. Over the next few days, Monica and David began preparing a strategy to go public with the documents. They reached out to a few trusted reporters, including Lena, who had been following the story closely. They also contacted some legal experts who could speak to the larger issues of judicial accountability and racial inequality in the courts. The pieces were falling into place, but Monica knew the risks. Exposing the Judicial Commission's failure to act would make her a target. But she didn't care anymore. The fight was no longer just about her. It was about holding an entire system accountable for its complicity in injustice ***. And she wasn't about to back down now. The stakes had never been higher. The night before their planned media release, Monica lay awake, staring at the ceiling, her mind racing. The decision they had made, to go public with everything, felt monumental. She could already imagine the backlash. Judge Gray would likely deny everything, the Judicial Commission would likely hide behind their usual excuses, and the media would focus on the controversy. She knew that exposing the truth would come with a price, but there was no turning back now. She had come too far to quit. The morning of the release, Monica sat with David Lena and a few trusted legal experts in a small conference room. The walls were lined with legal textbooks, and the air felt heavy with anticipation. The plan was simple but bold. They would share the internal memo, the confirmed evidence of Judge Gray's pattern of misconduct, and a detailed report showing the Commission's failure to act despite multiple complaints. David had already prepared a press statement. Lena was ready to push the story out across multiple outlets. There was no turning back. As the clock ticked toward noon, Monica looked around the room, feeling the weight of the moment. "We do this now," she said, her voice steady but resolute. "Not tomorrow, not next week. Now." Lena nodded, her fingers hovering over her laptop, ready to hit send. The team was ready. The press release went live at 12:00 p.m. The headline was bold. Judge accused of systemic bias. Internal documents expose judicial misconduct cover loop ***. Within minutes, it was all over social media. News outlets began picking up the story. Local news, national platforms, even some legal commentators began weighing in. The explosive nature of the story caught everyone's attention. The documents revealed the depth of the issue. Judge Gray's history of dismissing complaints from marginalized communities, the racial bias he had shown in his rulings, and the failure of the Judicial Commission to act. Monica's phone started ringing almost immediately. Her inbox flooded with messages from reporters, activists, lawyers, and concerned citizens. Some supported her. Others questioned the timing or the validity of the documents, but they couldn't ignore the evidence. This story was out, and the world was watching. Hours later, Monica was seated at a press conference, flanked by David and Lena, facing a room full of reporters. The questions came fast and furious. "Monica, do you think this is the beginning of a broader movement in holding judges accountable for bias? How do you respond to critics who say this is an isolated incident, not systemic? Do you have plans to seek legal action against Judge Gray personally?" Monica took a deep breath before responding. "I don't want to talk just about Judge Gray I want to talk about a system a system that protects people in power and ignores the people who need justice the most. The fact that complaints were filed about Judge Gray and ignored for years isn't just an accident. It's part of a pattern. And that pattern exists in courthouses all across this country. This is about holding the whole system accountable. David added, "This is only the beginning. We've already reached out to the Judicial Commission for a formal investigation, and we will be pursuing every avenue to ensure that the voices of those who have been ignored are finally heard." Monica continued, "I'm not doing this for the attention. I'm doing this because people like me. Black women, marginalized communities, we are constantly dismissed. We don't have the luxury of letting these things slide. Our lives depend on a fair and just system, and it's time for that system to answer for its failures." Later that evening, Monica sat at her kitchen table, the press conference replaying in her mind. She felt a strange mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. The world had seen the truth, but the road ahead would not be easy. Judge Gray would fight back. The Judicial Commission would try to bury the story, but they had opened a door and there was no going back. The next morning, there were news reports of other similar cases coming to light, more victims stepping forward, and whispers of other judges facing similar scrutiny. The ripple effects were beginning to show. People were talking and they were angry. They wanted change, and for the first time in a long time, Monica believed it was possible. Weeks later, an investigation was launched into Judge Gray's behavior, and a growing public outcry forced the Judicial Commission to take action. Judge Gray was temporarily suspended while a full review of his past cases was conducted. The story didn't end with the suspension. There were deeper changes that had to happen, systemic changes, but this was a start. Monica didn't stop there. She continued to speak at rallies, continued to push for accountability, and continued to amplify the voices of those who had been silenced for too long. She knew that one victory didn't change everything, but it had opened the door for a much larger conversation. As she sat in a meeting with other activists one afternoon, a thought struck her. She wasn't just a survivor of the system. She was a part of its evolution. She was a force for change. And that was just the beginning. Her fight for justice was far from over.